It's your girl T here, back with another Tea Time Thursday video. I know y'all are having a beautiful, blessed day because we're tea timers. It's absolutely what we do. Our affirmation of the day is, I don't make mistakes because I'm perfect. We don't make mistakes because we're perfect. We're tea timers. There's no such thing as a mistake, just absolute perfection in our world. I wanted to talk about that in the video today. I have had some comments that, I screwed up here, I screwed up there, what do I do? Let's take SP as an example. Let's jump right in with that one. A couple of you have said, I messaged my SP and I shouldn't have, or I said something to them and I shouldn't have said it in this regard. What do I do now? Well, you have a few choices. You can ignore it, which I know won't res with a lot of people because I know how it feels when you're very, very wrapped up in your SP journey and you feel real tight about every little thing that you do. So ignoring might not resonate with some of you, but to those who it does resonate, you could ignore what happened and move forward and focus on other things, because where our focus goes and our energy goes, grows. Meaning if we focus on something really hard, or our energy filters into that thing really hard, it's going to make it exasperate or grow bigger. So if you're comfortable ignoring the situation and moving forward with your regular programming, affirming, scripting, declaring, what have you, then so be it. For those of you who can't drop it and let it go, you could revise it. Revision is where you see things the way that you wanted them to go as opposed to what happened. So just the same way you watch a TikTok video over and over and over again, in your mind, every time that occurrence came up, you would see it the way that you wanted it to be as opposed to how it went down. Let's say you said something to your SP you felt you shouldn't have, or you didn't want it to come out that way. Let's say you commented on something online and you're in no contact and you didn't want them to know you were even checking their online. You could look at that situation the way you wanted it to be as opposed to how it went down. You could see them messaging you online, maybe they were in a drunken stupor and they said something lovey towards you on one of your photos and you're laughing about it. Or you could hear a friend say to you, oh my God, did you see so-and-so commented on your picture? I didn't even know they were friends with you on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. That's called the telephone technique. One of your friends commenting to you on something that happened. You replay whatever scene you pick to replace the old scene over and over until it becomes natural to you that it went down the way you wanted it to, as opposed to the way that it didn't. Does revision work is the next question I know some of you will ask. It most certainly does. I've revised numerous situations and they have played out the way that I wanted them to. For example, I screwed up a cash out at work one day and it was so bad that it took an hour for us to try and figure it out, and I still didn't figure it out. I went home stressed to the max that this was going to come back down on me because it still wasn't resolved and it had taken up so much time. I kept replaying over and over that the cash out went great, and I heard the person I was working on it with go, I'm so happy we figured that out. It was just a simple fix. The next day, nobody even knew what I was talking about with the cash out from the day before. I was like, did everything work out with my cash out? They're like, yeah, why wouldn't it? It was so easy. I heard about it. It took 2 seconds. It revised the old situation to the new situation. It does work. That's just one example. I've done it in so many situations. You can revise things from years ago. Like if you have problems with money, you could say, I've always been rich. Or if you had problems with your SP, you could say, me and my SP have always been together. By implementing it's always been that way, it will revise your current circumstances into the state of the fact of the matter being you've always been a particular way, but in your favor, as opposed to you've always been clumsy, you've always been slow, you've always been this, you revise it to I've always been a positive thing, and it will revise it to that positive thing. I think I've given you 3 examples of what you could do in that situation. So what I'm trying to say here is there's no real mistakes in our 3D reality. It's not like, oh, I did that and it's irreversible. Our 3D is malleable, which means it's like Play-Doh. You know how with Play-Doh you can make it a shape and then squash it out and restart? That's what our 3D is. It's malleable, meaning it shifts and changes. That's why, have you ever looked at a person for years and years and one day you look at them and they look completely different to you? You've just shifted into a different reality where they show up differently for you. It's malleable. It is malleable, meaning it is changeable. Nothing in our 3D is unchangeable, unfixable, unmovable. We can always shift and move things in our 3D reality. So when you feel like you've made a mistake, you should have something in your mind like a whiteout or a corrector where you blot over it and you can change it to what you actually want it to be. You can also do what Neville did at the end of the day. He would revise his day every single night. I don't do this. It doesn't particularly resonate with me, but it might help some of you. He would go 20 minutes before he went to bed. He would correct every situation in his 3D that he thought he wanted to see in a different way. He would replay his whole day in the way that he wanted it to go, and he would do this every single night so that he felt like his days were always matching up to what he wanted in his mind, and it worked for him. There's a bazillion techniques of how to live out your life the way you want it to go. But at the end of the day, the point of the video is to say there's no unfixable mistakes. You're not doing anything wrong. Everything is a learning process. It's like anything in life. Repetition will make you better at everything you're doing. So if this is the start of your manifestation journey, you're midway on your manifestation journey, or you've been manifesting for years, there's always room for improvement. There's always room to learn new things. So the key takeaway here is you're not doing anything wrong, and everything is fixable. I shouldn't even say fixable. Everything is malleable. So we can redo anything that we deem as incorrect. You could also say to yourself, I don't make any mistakes. Everything in my 3D is unfolding perfectly, because it's all a chain of events that leads me to the correct outcome. You can also go that route. You could say, I never make a mistake because everything's always leading me to my end result. Whatever way you slice the pie, you're not making any mistakes. You're on the right path. So instead of taking a situation and exaggerating it to make it larger than life in the wrong direction, remember and remind yourself, everything is always working out in your favor, best case scenario. So there is no mistakes in our 3D reality. I promise y'all that. If you have any questions, y'all know what to do, but I love y'all. Not as much as you should be loving yourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed Thursday. Bye.